Let's talk some X Factors, Packers, Vikings. All right, welcome back to Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus and 2 days away from pure joy. So we're going to whip out some X Factors. I wish I knew the X Factor theme song. I don't watch that show. It's probably like X Factor.
Is it still in the air?
I don't know. It might not be. I'm an idiot.
Was that Fear Factor?
No, I'm talking about X Factor.
Oh,
It's like a reality show.
I think there's a G.I. Joe guy called X Factor back in the day too, probably. Before we hop into these X Factors, whether it was a show or not, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the vids, keep on getting those numbers up, and also join the Patreon. A lot of giveaways there. A lot of giveaways.
Let's do this. Also, be sure to grab yourself a cold Lift Bridge brew for the game. Anyone you grab is win-win. They're all delicious. And speaking of delicious, we got 3 X Factors that are extra tasty.
Yeah, let's start with the Vikings offensive line holding up. Look at the middle, especially Garrett Bradbury, new face Ed Ingram. Let's not kid ourselves here, right? Garrett Bradbury is going to have some shit plays. He's going to get blown up by Kenny Clark probably at least a handful of times. How much he can minimize that from happening? He can get knocked on his ass, but maybe as he gets knocked to the ass, roll into Kenny Clark so he doesn't kill Kirk Cousins. How those two play against a very, very talented, not just line, but front seven, the Green Bay Packers will be huge in determining the outcome of this game.
Yeah, I mean, you said it all. Bradbury and Ingram, they got the work cut out for him, and that's going to be a big deciding factor on how this offense runs on Sunday. I mean, I bet they got Vikings are probably very prepared to the fact that Kenny Clark is going to be back there. They're scheming around Kenny Clark, but hopefully they can make it a little bit easier by playing like professional football players.
Maybe just put C.J. Ham right next to Garrett Bradbury up there in the line, just behind him in the backfield.
That'd be a penalty.
I don't know. You got to have somebody spying Kenny Clark, and I think it maybe will be some C.J. Ham action there.
Well, speaking of spying,
personal protector. Yeah.
Let's talk former Packers. Definitely an X factor here. Not just former Packers, but 2 starters on the Vikings defense, Zadarius Smith and Shannon Sullivan in the slot. So this is huge. We've seen the quotes about Zadarius Smith and his thoughts about the Packers. This dude is going to come out absolutely ready to explode over anybody and everybody. And I'm expecting a big game from Zadarius Smith.
Oh, and if he does, if he opens up, let's say the Packers start with the ball, Zadarius Smith comes flying off the edge, blows up Aaron Rodgers. Crowd's going to go nuts. The team's going to go nuts. They're going to feed off that energy. It's just going to be the start of a giant, beautiful purple snowball that's just going to destroy the Packers. So that's going to be huge. And let's not forget Shannon Sullivan, too. I think he's got a little chip on his shoulder. Everybody's giving Zadarius Smith all the attention here, but I think Shannon's going to come a little. He's going to want to ball out, too, on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, Sullivan, we got to be a little bit realistic with him. I think he's going to be just fine, but it's his former team, and he's going to be an upgrade from Mackenzie Alexander. I mean, anybody really probably could have been an upgrade over Mackenzie Alexander, but Sullivan, I think, is going to be a sneaky little surprise this year, a very welcoming surprise.
But it's huge. This revenge factor is definitely an X factor. You can't ignore it. You see it all the time. These guys go against their old teams. They get extra motivated. They want to, show them they made a mistake, but let them go, not give them the money they wanted. And it's definitely going to come into play on Sunday.
And also, the Packers have former Viking tight end, Mr. Byer, on their practice squad. So a little motivation there.
Oh my God, they actually gave him some money?
I think they did. I might have made that up, but I'm pretty sure he's on their practice squad. Let's go to the last one. The biggest one.
Yeah. Well, it is the biggest one. And I think it's what factors in, it's a little bit with this revenge factor too, but Minnesota Vikings, new regime, new front office, new head coach, new offense, new defense, new players. You're playing at home. This is just the start of a whole new era. No Mike Zimmer. This team should be absolutely pumped. It'll be like, it'll be like watching like 15 Rocky training montages in a row. They should be ready to attack and ready to come out on fire.
Yeah, and this is going to set the scene for the coming weeks. I mean, to at home beat the Packers in your first game, I mean, it's just going to set the stage. If they come out flat, if they lose at home in such a big game, I'm not going to say their season is over by any means or that it's going to get gross, but there's no better way to start this new regime with a victory at home against those gross-ass Packers.
the energy level is going to be through the roof. People will just be coming in the stands. They'll be so excited. There's no way this team should come up flat. It should be nothing but pure fire, pure energy, pure hype, and they should be balls to the walls. I can't wait to see it.
I'm going to be balls to the TV watching this entire game. Picture that.
Who isn't?
Probably everybody. Those are our 3 X factors. Let us know what your X factor is down in the comments, and also if that ever was a show. I guess I'm not as confident anymore.
I'm starting to wonder. All right, and while you're checking into X Factor, remember this: if Finding Nemo was real, when Nemo's mom got eaten, Nemo's dad would have deployed female gonads and formed a breeding pair with Nemo. Horrifying.